Hello everyone, Raccoon-Formers here, and today I'll be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series number 8608 Deluxe Class Gnaw, aka a Sharkticon. The Sharkticons are basically the Transformers version of the Rancor from Star Wars, because the Rancor is a beast that lives under Jabba the Hutt's palace, and Jabba feeds any people who displease him to the Rancor, and a pit door opens, and unlucky guests fall in, and they get eaten. And that's somewhat what happens with Gnaw and the Sharkticons in the 1986 film as well. Just take out Jabba the Hutt and replace him with the Quintesson judge. And the Sharkticons live in a pit under the Quintesson courtroom, and the Quintessons feed unlucky guests who displease them to the Sharkticons. So, can you see the resemblance? But anyway, here we are with another Studio Series 86 figure. The first wave of the 86 line was absolutely phenomenal. I loved all 6 of the figures, and I am really excited for it to be back. And here we have the leader of the Sharkticons, Gnaw. But what weirds me out a little bit about Gnaw is he was never actually addressed as Gnaw in the 1986 film. All the Sharkticons were mainly anonymous, so I'm not completely sure where they got the name Gnaw from. Either this is supposed to be the leader of the Sharkticons, or they just made up a random fan-made name so that way they wouldn't just label this figure as Sharkticon, because I feel like that would have been a bit lame. But Gnaw is an awesome fan-made name, because one thing that Sharkticons like to do is gnaw on things. So it's kind of a cute play on words. So let's get started by taking a look at Gnaw's details. Let's bring him in here for a close-up. Look at that. Look at that spooky Sharkticon face. Let me just bring in the lights real quick. There we go. Nice looking Sharkticon jaws. Look very sharp, but they don't feel sharp, which is definitely good. Nice looking purple around the mouth. Little button-like things sculpted down here. Little Minotaur-like horns right here. Nice looking big bulgy green eyes that for some reason look like gobstoppers. I don't know why. But the eyes are very interesting because look, there's like sculpted space around the eyes to sort of make them 3D. It's really cool. Nice looking feet, which are his arms in robot mode, but he doesn't always stand up the best. That's one thing that I'm not a huge fan of about Transformers that transform them into beasts. But it's possible, but it is extremely difficult. He's also got some awesome looking arms right here, which are actually articulated. There's a little bend right here and a swivel here. It can actually rotate all the way around. Or can they? Yeah, yes they can. You just need to move the legs out of the way when you do. But the swivel is super tight and the jaw isn't. So when you move the swivel, it might move the jaw up and down. And the jaws can open and close like he's gnawing on something, hence his name. But one thing I'm not a huge fan of is how his robot mode head is literally inside his mouth. I think it's to help give this figure its signature robot mode look, which is having his head inside of his mouth as it's opened wide. But I feel like they could have done something. Like maybe they could have worked in a little flip around thing that you could flip the head into to hide it, and it could still have its signature look. It's not that big a deal because it is possible to hide it by keeping the jaws closed like this, but it's still a bit unfortunate, and I feel like it could have been done better. One thing that's also really cool is how they installed a little dorsal fin. I think to homage that this character is based off of a shark. Don't ask me what kind of shark. There are millions of them. Hammerheads, great whites, tiger sharks, megalodons, I don't know. But it's really nice that they added this dorsal fin. It's a wonderful homage. It does come off because it does come packaged separately for whatever reason, but it stays on pretty decent. Look, you can shake it, and it does not come off, which is definitely good. Otherwise, it would be a problem. Gnaw comes with 2 accessories. He comes with a blaster, because, you know, all Transformers gotta come with the blasters, just how they work, which looks pretty cool. It's decked out in gray with some nice looking sculpted details. Very nice. Pew pew bang bang, pew pew bang bang. And we also have this wrecking ball on a stick like thing. I think it's called a mace. Not Mace Windu, just a mace. It's pretty cool. It's decked out in blue with some more nice sculpted details. You probably already know what the weapon storage for these two weapons are because you probably just saw it earlier when I was talking about Gnaw's details. Try to figure out what the weapon storage is and let me know in the comment section below if you're right when I show the weapon storage later on. How's that for a nice competition? But yeah. Alrighty, ladies and gents, let's get down to comparisons. Here we have Gnaw next to two of his frenemies from the 1986 film, Hot Rod and Cup. They look pretty decent together because Hot Rod and Cup did face off against a bunch of the Sharkticons. I'm not completely sure if they faced off against Gnaw. I'm not even sure if Gnaw is an actual character, if it's just a fan-made name, but these three figures look phenomenal together. They really, really do. I want to compare Gnaw with Studio Series 86 Grimlock because Grimlock is technically the Sharkticons' new leader after he did this.
Me Grimlock say execute them!
But I'm using my iPad 6th generation camera right now, which isn't big enough to fit Grimlock, so I'm going to do a bit different of a comparison. Here's a virtual comparison of Gnaw and Grimlock. Don't they look cool together? They really do. I am really excited for more of the Dinobots. Well, friends, this pretty much wraps up this figure's beast mode. Let's get down to transformation, shall we? And he fell. That's sad. Let me just remove this and this. Set them off to the side. This transformation is actually quite simple. It's challenging. It's not easy, but it's definitely easier than others and has a few funnish qualities to it as well. So let's get started. You can straighten up the Sharkticon feet, fold them to the side like this, flip out the hands because like I hinted at, his Sharkticon feet become his robot mode hands. Very slick. Then you can come up here. And you just detach the front half of the Sharkticon. I just need to find the knot. Here. Right here. It detaches right here, and then you can bring it downward like this. And then you can unfold his Sharkticon feet, or his robot mode feet. And you can just straighten them out, make them look as phenom as possible. You can come up here to this back section, fold it down like that, straighten out his feet again to give clearance. And you can take his entire chest assembly here and rotate it around like this, straighten the hands downward and around like this. You can open up his jaw, fold this entire assembly down. This tab that's connected to the detachable dorsal fin is supposed to tab right into there, and it does, but for whatever reason, whenever I do, it causes the dorsal fin to come untabbed a little bit, and I don't really know why. But it'll have to do. Then you can take his Sharkticon arms, rotate them around. They don't tab anywhere, they just sit here. And straighten everything out, make it look as nice as possible. Then you can take his weapons and tab them into his hands. For whatever reason, they gave the gun an extremely short handle, so it's very hard for him to hold on to it, but for whatever reason, it's easier to tab it into this hand than it is this one. So you can just tab it into there, bend his arm to make him look heroic or devious or whatever. And then you can take his wrecking ball on a stick like thingy. You can tab it in, shimmy it into place, bend that to make it look heroic. And here we have the Transformers Studio Series number 8608 Deluxe Class Gnaw in his awesome looking robot mode. That transformation was a mix of easy, fun, and hard. It wasn't the easiest transformation, but it wasn't the hardest, and it definitely was funner than some others. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of Gnaw's details. Let me just bring him in for a close-up. Very nice looking head, and this is why the head is inside of the Sharkticon mouth. This is Gnaw's signature robot mode look. His head is inside of his Sharkticon mouth, and it looks like he's about to eat his own head or something. But I just feel like they could have done better hiding it in vehicle mode, or Sharkticon mode, I should say. But it's not that big a deal, and it has some phenomenal looking details. Nice looking little red square right here with a little stripe down the middle with a little fin of some sorts on the side. Nice looking helmet. Looking nice. Nice looking face with little green eyes. I'm kind of thinking it's supposed to homage his Sharkticon eyes, you know, without all the faux parts. I don't know. He has some awesome looking feet. I love the way these feet are sculpted. Oh, and I also forgot a step, by the way. You need to fold his little toesies out like that, which are purple. Totally don't match. Don't know why. Sorry about that. You do this. Don't forget that. But yeah, his feet look very cool. I love the way these are sculpted, and they're so sturdy. It really is cool. I really like it. And I love how his Sharkticon toes are all around his hand. It makes for perfect armor. It looks so cool. And I love his dorsal fin on the back. It sort of looks like it gives him the ability to swim or something. I don't know. It just looks so cool. I love him. He's got some phenomenal articulation. Not a ton, but some. I'll go through that with you. Let me see. His arms can go out this much and in this much and can swivel all the way around. And there is a rotation, no fist articulation. His legs can kick back this much and up this much. And there is a rotation here as well. And there's a really interesting foot bend right here, which is slightly due to transformation. Actually, it is entirely due to transformation, but you know. No waist articulation, probably due to the bulky waist, but it's all right. His head can go up this much and down this much and cannot rotate, or can kind of, not entirely, but I don't know. It works. It works. Alrighty, people, let's get down to some comparisons. I'm just going to do the exact same comparison that I did for Gnaw when he was in his Sharkticon mode with Hot Rod, Cup, and Grimlock, but Hot Rod is extremely fragile, as you learned in his review way back earlier in this year. So because of that, I'm not going to transform him to robot mode just to compare him with Gnaw. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do a full-scale virtual comparison of the four figures. Here, I scooched him back a little bit to make a little bit more room for the virtual comparison. Here he is with Hot Rod, Cup, and Grimlock. These four figures look phenomenal together. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to transform the three figures to robot mode, but like I said before with Grimlock, he's too big to fit in this camera, and I wouldn't have been able to do him anyway, and it would have been too big to do the four figures together, so I decided to do it in this cool format. Let me know in the comment section below if you like this format, and if I should do it again. Anyway, that pretty much wraps up this figure's robot mode. Let's get down to transformation, shall we? You can bring him in real quick, and you can remove his accessories, which will be vital for the figure later on. Set them off to the side. So fly. First, you can deal with the hands. Fold in the feet. Repeat the same process on the opposite side. You can fold the arms up like this, and they'll become the Sharkticon feet later on. You can detach the entire back assembly, bring it down, and rotate the front assembly or the chest assembly around. And you can come back here to lift this section up. And I never noticed these alligator-like scales as well. It's pretty cool. And then you can deal with the feet skis. You can fold in the purple toes. Again, remember to do that. Sorry that I forgot it. And then you can fold the feet in. And this is what I meant. That cool foot articulation is due to transformation. Little T-shaped things. Never noticed that. And there's a little tab right under here on his foot that will tab right into there. But the peg is hexagon shaped. And the peg here is circular shaped. I'm confused about that. But let's see how well it works. You can just shimmy this in and tab it in. It works, despite the different shapes. I'm impressed. But yeah, you can repeat the same process on the opposite side. Shimmy this in, tab it into place, or attempt to. This can get a bit tricky. BRB. There we are, ladies and gents. Both feet are tabbed into their respective spots. Do be careful with that because this is a bit fragile. And then you can bring the entire Sharkticon front over, and this little slot here will slot right into there. Bring it over, and you can tab it into place. This is probably the hardest part, but it works if everything is tabbed in, like that. And then you can take the Sharkticon arms, which for some reason look like T-Rex arms, rotate them around and articulate them however you choose. Like that. Rotate the dorsal fin to make it line up with the alligator spikes here, which I never talked about. They're cool. And then you can situate his arms, shimmy them down like this to make them feet-like or something. I don't know. Repeat the same process on the opposite side. Make sure the arms are rotated correctly so the articulated joint is where it should be. Looking fly. And then you can take his accessories. His gun tabs right into that little slot right there. I'm not completely sure if Sharkticons actually had guns here or if it's just for fun. It looks pretty cool nonetheless. And then you can take his wrecking ball on a stick and shimmy it right into that little hexagon-shaped peg. And yes, it becomes his Sharkticon tail, which, believe it or not, the Sharkticons actually had. Here's a picture. See? And with all that being said, here we have the Transformers Studio Series number 8608 Deluxe Class Gnaw and his awesome looking Sharkticon alt mode. Some final thoughts on the figure. It's a phenomenal figure. It's phenomenal in both modes, but I do have a few issues with it. One, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of how you can literally see the head whenever you open the jaw, but I also don't really like how the figure is packaged when it's packaged. He's literally packaged with his Sharkticon head detached. You literally have to reattach it. It was a bit nerve-wracking, so I'm not really in the mood to show you right now, but it is explained in the directions. They're not all that good, not any Transformer instructions are, but feel free to check out another review for that. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to show that. But other than those few issues, this figure is absolutely phenomenal in both modes, and I highly recommend picking it up. I highly do. Well, friends, this pretty much wraps up this video review. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to click that big red subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on a future video. And you better make sure to do that because I have a very special figure that I got for Christmas that you're going to love to see. Let me bring it in for you real quick. You're not going to want to miss that video. I can assure you. It's going to be super cool. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye. Peace.